Let's go ahead and jump right into it. Welcome, everybody. This is the Knives Monroe podcast, and I'm here with Ellis. I need your last name.
H, like the letter.
Ellis H. and Josh Segundo. It's good to have you guys here, man. Thanks so much for coming all the way up to Leander, to the crib.
Oh, I appreciate you having us.
That's crazy. I haven't done a pod since like January, and I did one with my neighbor, and I feel bad. So shout out to Jordan if this one comes out before. I have it locked and loaded in the chamber. I just haven't released it. But he's a filmmaker. He's a neighbor of mine.
Oh,
and
that's cool.
Yeah. So it's good to keep it, on the filmmaking topic. I have, and don't worry, the cameras can't see this, but I have your short film, Where Do We Go, here, and I'm probably going to play it like on loop because
That's
there
cool.
might be some things that I want to like point out and talk
Yeah.
about. Some things that I thought were improvised, certain lens choices, like dumb shit like that.
Sure, yeah.
But,
Let's get into everything.
let's get into it all. Well, first of all, for context, this is the third time that I've had you on the
Yeah.
pod, and it's cool that you're on. And for those that didn't hear the first pod, Josh, tell me about you, your filmmaking journey, and how you got to Where Do We Go, and then we'll get to Ellis as well.
Yeah. Well, I started out in the Valley. That's how I know you from. From Mission. You're from Donna.
Donna.
Right. And started, just I think like every other kid, we just watched a couple movies and we're like, I want to do this, and this is what I want to do forever. Luckily, that fire has not gone away, and I moved to Austin, and I've been working in Austin for over 4 years, just usually doing, grip and electric, but obviously my passion has always been to direct, and I wanted to make my own movies. So I made a couple shorts when I was back down there, made one when I was living in San Antonio, and then this was my first one that I'd made in like 5 years. So yeah, we made this about 2 years ago.
2 years ago, yeah, at this point, yeah.
Ellis, how did you get into acting? I presume that's the full-time passion.
Okay, so I act and I also do stand-up. Oddly enough, I ran into Josh at one of my stand-up shows, right?
Oh.
So, I'm the forever opportunist, but not like in a sleazy ass way. But I like when I see something, I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, hey, what you do? Blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
He's like, I make films. I said, oh shit.
Yeah.
I'm an actor, bro. And then we got each other's context, and then I seen that he had an audition up, and I was just tripping. I was like, oh shit, audition, got the part, and yeah.
If you don't mind me asking, are you more of an actor or more of a stand-up, or 50-50?
You know what's funny? If I do stand-up, motherfuckers see me as an actor. Can I curse?
Of course.
Okay. If I do stand-up, motherfuckers see me as an actor. If I act, motherfuckers see me as a stand-up. So it's like either I'm 50-50 or I'm half-assed at both of them. But yeah, it's good though.
The reason why I ask is, you obviously are hilarious in this movie.
Yes, sir.
In a lot of nuanced, like not really trying to be funny, but like you're exasperated funny. But you're also serious too, and like you're also an actor with a capital A.
Oh yes, sir.
So
thank
you were really good in this movie, man.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm not blowing smoke.
No, and I believe you. I believe
yes, sir.
you. A motherfucker named Knives ain't gonna lie to you.
Knives got your back. That's what I
Hell
always
yeah.
say. But so you guys met at a stand-up show.
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So did you already have Where Do We Go locked and loaded in the chamber written?
Yeah, I had a couple drafts of it done, and then I was going to different stand-up shows. So like I guess the story is about a guy who kind of keeps getting like kicked down, and he keeps coming back. And in my head, like I'm a huge into stand-up. I love stand-up, so I was like, who better than getting a comedian? Like that's kind of what it is. You go up there, especially you start out, you eat it. And you come back, and then you just kind of keep going, keep chipping at it. And then I was like, let me go to a bunch of different stand-ups, and there's so much talent in there. There's so much comedic talent, and it's not a role, in my opinion, that is like a classically trained actor can do this role. It is somebody who needs to understand like street smarts and understand that kind of stuff. But yeah, we were sitting in the audience, and I think it wasn't you. I think you had already gone on, and some other guy was like doing crowd work. He pointed at me. I was like, "What do you do?" And I was like, "I'm a filmmaker." And then I think he made like some kind of joke about like, "Okay, so when you're at the unemployment line," like I was like, okay, cool, whatever.
Yeah,
and then after that, Ellis was like, "Hey."
Oh, okay. Yeah.
then
Okay,
he
now
came
I
up
do
to it.
remember that, yeah.
And then we just passed information, and then I was like, "Okay, like yeah, let me watch this stuff." I think you sent me a feature that you had done,
Hell yeah.
and then I watched it. I think we communicated here and there, and then when we were getting into the casting process, I think I sent you the script, and then we kind of went through it, and yeah, he was just right for the role.
Okay, so I'm curious. Like, I want to get into some nitty gritty stuff, and feel free to interject any moment, like, and chime in because it's weird. Like, these questions are for both of y'all.
Okay, yes, sir.
But it's an independent film.
Mm-hmm.
How much money did you put into this?
Personally?
I mean, how much money went into it? I should ask.
Oh,
I know that you did a crowdfunding.
We did a crowdfunding campaign.
Yeah.
We raised about
Seed and Spark.
we did a Seed and Spark for it. I think we did maybe. I mean, if I'm including like festival fees and like posts and everything, probably like 16. So I probably just like matched it on my own over time.
Wow. So when you wrote it, what did you think it was going to be?
I think when I wrote it, I was expecting it to be somewhere around I don't know, $7,000.
Really? So it doubled what your expectations were.
I mean, and that's just everything. That's just film. It's just going to inflate.
The reason why I set that table is for a lot of these people listening are independent filmmakers as well, and they can relate to that, right? When you first set out to make this picture, did you do an actual casting call, and did you do it like the quote unquote Hollywood way, or did you do it like the indie way? If so, tell me about that. And I'm curious because it sounds like Ellis didn't audition.
No, he did.
I did audition.
You did audition.
I did audition.
Yeah, he auditioned.
Okay. Well,
then
talk to me about the pre-pro.
Yeah, so I mean, like there was certain roles in it, and I guess we can just speak openly about like different roles. Like Hannah Barfoot, who plays this lady who doesn't want to give you the backpack.
Who's terrific.
She's great.
She's so funny.
I had worked with her. She was in my previous film, Dawn,
Okay.
and she was in that film. So I was just like, let me just call up Hannah. She'd be perfect for this. Or like Jeff, who is your manager.
Yeah.
He was also in that short film, Dawn. Rob, who's like the first bus driver in this film, was also in that same short film, Dawn. So we just like whoever I knew that I had known from my past, I thought would be perfect for these roles. I was like, let me just fill in the gaps with new actors like like Ellis, Journey, Bill.
Damn Bill.
We're gonna get into Bill. Don't worry.
Bill's
Oh shit.
We're gonna get
Bill's
into
great.
Bill. Yeah.
I love Bill.
Me too.
I love you, Bill.
But yeah, so it was a process for like filling in the gaps, and I think whenever we did the casting, there was like a lot of people that auditioned, and Ellis, I thought he did well, and then we did callbacks, and he came back, and we did it again, and then we ended up going with Ellis, but there was like a few candidates that were up for this role.
So Journey's the young lady.
Yes, Lizzie.
Okay.
Did
you cast? I mean, do a casting call for a bunch of kids?
Yeah, we did.
What was that like?
It was interesting. There was a big like gap in like the way that people were kind of auditioning. Like we had like a 25-year-old woman audition for this 11-year-old
That's
role,
weird, man.
which was very strange.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
We also
That's
had like
weird.
we also had like a 6-year-old like try to audition, and I was just like,
You're
it's
6.
just, yeah, like I'm sorry, we can't go with you. But yeah, there was like teenagers like 15, 16 years old, and I'm just like, you're too old for this role.
Yeah.
And Journey just kind of came in, and I was like, oh, this is exactly like the perfect like attitude that we needed for this character.
She's terrific.
And she's so good in it.
Yes.
And she was so cool to work with as well.
Yeah,
So
she's
who did you
great.
cast first? The dad or the daughter?
I think it was Ellis first.
So
and
then you did need to have a black little girl then for sure, right?
Yeah, I mean we had like 3 or 4 that were kind of there. Yeah.
Okay, so like when you're doing a casting call in the beginning, like the script I imagine is not very specific in terms of this is going to be a black person.
No,
or,
it's not.
It wasn't. So that was a discovery process.
Yeah, I mean it was kind of like trying to like find, I guess, like the pieces that kind of work together to make this story kind of work. And then like Ellis was amazing in it. We had Journey that was just like, this is exactly who we wanted. And then Natalie, who I think like
She plays mom.
she plays the mom. Yes.
Yeah.
And whenever we were doing the auditions for the mom, and I think at the end of this film, she comes into it with like an attitude where she's just like, you're an idiot. Like for being, for like ruining your whole day over a backpack. Yeah. And we had so many auditions come in.
Such mom energy.
Yeah, exactly. And we had so many auditions come in, and there was like, they were like, oh no, like you shouldn't have done that. Like you guys could have enjoyed your day. And I was like, that's not what this character needs. And then when Natalie sent in her audition tape, there was an immediacy to just being like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah.
And I was like, thank God, somebody understands.
Somebody who gets it.
Somebody who understands that this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then when we did the callbacks, and then I talked to Natalie about it, and she's like, well, yeah, like
Yeah.
this is obvious to me. And I'm like, well, you'd be surprised. It's not obvious to a lot of people.
Yeah, that's why we do auditions.
Yeah. And it was just great that it was just like, oh, we had Natalie, who was, incredible, Journey, who was incredible, Ellis, who is also incredible, and it just worked all together where it's like, this is the family. Like, this is the energy that we need.
That's so rare, when like the whole unit comes,
Right.
and takes shape and forms in front of you, and you're like, this is it.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Ellis, what do you think about auditioning? What do you think about that system?
It sucks. It fucking sucks. Because sometimes, I mean, bruh, motherfucker, you go to the audition and you have an idea, like, and obviously some are on the money, some are fucking wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't mind being wrong. I'll come in with a choice. I just need you to nudge me if it's something. Because some cast directors will just be, let's try something different.
Mm-hmm.
Different.
How? Give me something.
Because like just different. And it's like, okay, so I'm like, so I don't know if it's do less, do more, go in a different direction. Like, how else can I interpret it? But it's like in a split second, because they just go, and then you just walk away, and I just hate auditioning, bro. Like, bro, Knives, you act as well?
No.
Knives.
I've acted in a few friends' stuff, but I never auditioned.
Auditioning is so stupid. It's just, you could be in they're like, all right, the fucking, what's that called? The sides will be an emotional scene. Like, Mama, I don't think I'm ever gonna see you again. Mama. And scene. Like, and it's just like,
So
but
unnatural.
obviously I'm like crying more and shit. And it's just, I've bared my soul and now I clapped it up. Bye. And then just praying. And here's the deal, you don't even pray about it. Like, I pray about it, but it's almost like once you've done it, you got to go. And you are no longer even tethered to this thing for however long you was with it. You have to immediately let it go.
Yeah.
So, and then if you're a working actor, you're doing this 8-9 times a week, 10 times, 15 times a week.
My second film, I did a casting call properly, and I was making it. It was Seven Hands of God in the Valley, but we did a casting call in Austin and in Houston, and I went with Lassiter, R.I.P.
Rest in peace.
And he got really upset, and I don't mind speaking about this now, but I didn't know. No one told me how to do an audition and what went into it.
Okay.
And so we had a whole line of people that showed up. And I would say, I would take my time with the person and be like, well, try it like this. And I'd give them like a verb, or they'd do it a different way.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'd be like, okay, cool. Well, thanks. Have a great day. And Lassiter was like, you're talking to them. Like, you're not supposed to talk to them like people. They're not people. They go in, they come in, they get out. And I was like, oh, shit. I mean, I'm spending money. Like, I want to know if these people are coachable.
Right.
Like, I want to know if I can direct them. Like, I thought like it was just as much as a part of that connection as it was the actor comes and gives you the goods. So I didn't know how to do it. But when it comes to getting the sides and auditioning, like, do you want direction? Do you prefer it? Or do you prefer slate, get in, get out? Or
well, me personally, right? The way I see it is like, I'm already like, I'm the guy you need. So I'll come in with my direction. But I think the hallmark of a good actor is being able to take direction. A lot of times actors will come in with their preconceived notion of the character, but they're so locked in, there's no malleability in it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm coming in with the energy of like, hey, this is, because at a certain, and correct me if I'm wrong, fellas, because y'all make movies, sometimes y'all don't even have, like, you might have an idea of a character, like the rough edges, but it's just you waiting for someone to really like, boom, okay, oh my God, yes.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I was thinking about. Like, Josh, he he a mastermind. He probably have all the details, but some directors be having a rough idea. So I'm here to tell you, this is what you got. This is like, and if you don't like it, tell me what we can do so I can, and you're either gonna like it or you don't like it. Yeah.
Yeah. The impersonal, just treat them like cattle. I don't dig that. Like, it's not cool, man.
It is really not. Knives is one of the most. I mean, auditioning is one of the most stupid. Like, it's like it's a necessary evil, but it's one of the like, from the actor standpoint, it's almost because it's anxiety inducing. Like, depending on your mind or how long you've been doing it, it's anxiety inducing, and just the hello sometimes is better than because some people are all right. Say your name, slate, okay. and so and so's gonna be reading, and go. Blah, 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 blah. And you're just like, damn, and it's cold.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I mean, to me, your method is so like that to me, that brings out the best of the actor because you're connected to the humanity of him. It's just
It's giving you a fair shot.
it's
too.
giving me a fair shot, and goddamn it, and now it's like, maybe try something different. Just change it. I'm not a mind reader, motherfucker. Like,
Right.
tell me what you have an idea. Hey, I'm thinking scared. Be more scared. Be more anxious. Your mom just died. Give it to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like that. You not. Maybe I was interpreting it as like, okay, maybe not the mom died thing, but sometimes it's the stakes. I don't know how grand the stakes are in that context because sides are only like this much. So it's like no. There's a difference between like a girl breaking up with you and your mother dying, and I'm somewhere in the middle. I need you to go mother dying. So now, thank you. I can go all the way in the way I need to. But when you say just change it, that's not
direction.
That's not service to anyone. Yeah.
Yeah. So when it came to auditioning for this picture, what scene did you do, or was it a different scene from a different movie, or?
Oh no, it was the scene in, I'm trying to remember, it was the backpack scene where
with the daughter.
After they got kicked off.
When I saw that scene, I was like, okay, if this was nominated for an Oscar, it would be that clip. But if also this was going to be a chemistry test between the two actors, it would be that scene too.
Yeah,
that's their big scene.
It was that, and I think you also had the final scene with Booger.
Oh, with Booger, right.
So it was a 2.
That's a very nuanced one.
Yeah.
What do you, so how did your audition go? Like, how did you feel about it?
Well, okay, the one with Booger, I was just like, I'm just trying to really interpret it as best as I could, and I was just like, this is a man who is fed up, not fed up, but it's just like you and your homie, you're talking, y'all done just reconciled. So I was like, let me kind of go in with a gentle approach. But the backpack one, that one was like, I have a 5-year-old daughter.
IRL.
Yeah. In real life, IRL. And there's this thing of like I don't know if you can notice, it's like this whole like undermining of him throughout the whole movie. And my daughter is like my bonus daughter. It's my girl's kid, but she's my kid too. But there's this level of being undermined. And then it's just, well, my mom said that, and I'm not supposed to do that. My mama said this. I'm like, damn. My mama said that it's a backpack. No, it's a fucking backpack. Stop it.
Yeah.
And it's almost like I wasn't even acting at that point. I was just like, I'm so tired of because I was downstairs and you have a little girl of your own, and it's just I can only speak for mine. Like there's this level of like it's so little, but I know better. Like I know what you say, but this ain't like, it's like, trust me, just trust me. It's like, no. And it's just, you're gonna get it can be a little contentious at times. But yeah, man, the backpack scene was just like, I was like in my head, I'm like, I got this shit. I got this shit. Whenever I sent it off, and this dude, he's a dick. I'm over here and
I got that on camera.
What did I do?
No. You about to get reminded.
Oh, I did.
So I'm over here. I'm like, it was a family trip in Florida, and you got to make that call. Hey, Ellis, I'm just calling to let you know. I regret to inform you.
Yeah, I did this.
That you got the part. I said, you regret to inform you. Bitch, you didn't got.
That's fun.
Yeah,
that's fun.
Yeah.
Not fun for you.
No, but I was just like...
But it was fun short. I mean, it was like a 5-second bit.
It was a 5-second bit.
Yeah.
And then it's like, man.
That's cool.
I'm a comic. I should appreciate that, but that shit...
Nah.
I had a different hat on at the time.
That was a roller coaster right there. So what year was that when you got everyone on board?
2023. I think I met you in like 2022 though. Was when we met at the comedy club. And then we kept in touch.
Yeah.
We kept in touch like here and there. And then it wasn't until we were like in the casting process. I was like, let's get this thing done.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
How quickly from, okay, I casted these guys to principal photography?
A month?
It was like a month.
That's
it
fast.
It was quick. It was like I got cast and it was like a month. Yeah, something like that.
But we did some like we would go. I think I went to go see a couple of your shows, and we hung out after
Yeah,
a
yeah,
couple
yeah,
times, or like we went to go get food, and we would just
yeah.
talk about
And talking,
ourselves. It was more I feel about that.
just getting to know each other as
Right.
individuals.
And then I
Yeah,
think like understanding each other really helped him kind of understand the character because like this is such a personal piece for me
yeah,
that it was like, oh, I understand your struggles as to like
yeah,
why you're frustrated about certain situations or.
yeah, for sure.
And then that was like, okay, I understand who this guy is now.
Yes.
Well, since we're in this pocket, I want to ask both of you: did either of you have a conversation with each other about how do you want to be directed, or what how do you respond to direction, or like, did you guys ever talk about like that?
I don't think so.
Like not really in terms of like director actor dynamic on
Yeah,
like no, I don't think we ever
It was
kind
pretty
of
fluid.
It was very fluid.
So it's pretty intuitive. Like you didn't have
Yeah.
to. You didn't have to. There's some actors that are like, stay out of my way,
Mhm.
right? And there's some actors that are like, what's my motivation, right?
Right.
And so you didn't have any of those conversations?
I think maybe whenever because we met up once at the studio.
Yeah,
where
yeah, yeah.
we like it was just you and I, and we sat down and we like went through the whole script together.
Yes.
And then I think after that is when we went to go get some food. But like
Yeah.
I think that was the time where it was like, this is what I want, and then he brought in his own ideas, and I was like, okay, cool, that's interesting. Let's
Mhm.
play with different stuff.
Yeah.
And then, but once we were on set, I don't
It was
think
knives. It was butter, man. It was
That's sweet.
smooth. It
That's
was very
really sweet.
smooth.
That's the way it should be.
Yeah. He's a great director.
Did you guys?
man.
Did you guys? He is.
Sure.
Did you guys do a table read?
Yeah, we did.
What was that like?
It was good. I mean, I met Bill for the first time. And
Okay.
that,
So let's talk about Bill.
let's do
Okay,
it. He's
okay.
great.
So I had the privilege to produce a film with JR, and Bill acted in it, and I got to work with him and all day, and it was a very cool experience working with like an older actor,
Yeah.
because I personally don't like working with, when I say kids, I mean like 19, 20-year-olds, like just because they think they know everything, and it's like you don't know anything, and you also haven't lived, you don't know
Sure.
you don't know shit, and I don't even write for 20-year-olds. So
Same, yeah.
this wasn't my picture, but I was producing it, and so I was going to pay Bill, and his audition was just ecstatic, and it was like I'd never seen him and the actress that they were going to work with, and this guy was like a firecracker, like on set, like. This guy was going off book, and he was just like, he brought in so much like pathos into the character, and he was just like, it was like put two cameras on him because you don't know what he's gonna do kind
Right,
of thing.
for sure.
And so that was my experience working with Bill, and he was such a delight afterwards too. And he's a consummate professional. What was his experience like with you? Did he audition, and walk me through that?
Yeah, so that was one of the roles that I feel like I actually wrote down to be pretty specific. I was like, I need this to be an older guy because I think towards the end of the film, it's kind of like, I think the last conversation, he kind of gives Chris, he gives Chris the suggestion like, hey man, like if you don't want to worry about your struggles anymore, come to this side. Like, you know what I mean? Like you could be this, you could be me. And that couldn't be a 19, 20-year-old. That had to be an older guy who
cautionary tale.
lived experiences.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the reason why Bill is such a Booger is such a prominent character into this story, is that it's like a guy that's like, I can be this person if I really choose to let go of my daughter, let go of my my own like internalized motivations. Because I feel like what I was saying throughout to Bill or even to Ellis was like, nobody really needs to do anything. Like nothing is really stopping us from being, an unhoused person. We can just do that as long as we're eating and as long as we're drinking
You
water.
said an in-house person?
On house. Like,
okay, yeah.
like we can all do that. It's not stopping you. No, nothing is stopping you from doing that.
Right. The only reason why I'm laughing is because I was homeless, for 6 weeks when I first moved to Austin, by choice, and so it was going off the grid, was certainly on the table, and a lot of people are deathly afraid of that, losing their house and living in a car or something. And it's like, no, that can happen to all of us, either by choice or not. And so I'm only laughing just because I wasn't sure if you knew that or not. And it's like some people, and I'm like, yeah, fucking some people right here. But no, totally. Yeah. So it's enticing. I'm not going to lie, just going off the grid and Hakuna Matata and having no worries.
Literally, yeah.
And I've met some of those guys. I knew Booger. So did you know a Booger?
So I think where this came from, it was like this was back in like late 2020. I had just moved to Austin, and there was like, under the highways, there was a lot of tents, and I was door dashing. So like at any stop that I had, at any light, I was just dealing with, people just coming up to my car
Right.
constantly. I had a lady ask me to throw a water bottle at her, and I was like, no, and then she called me a bitch. It was really fun.
Oh yeah.
But it was just like a lot of situations where I was like, you know what I mean? Like I'm barely making my rent, and I'm so exhausted driving around trying to just deliver food for like $3-4 worth of tips. And I'm just like, I'm passing, all these like camps, and I'm just like, dude, if you stop, you're not going to be able to like pay your rent. Like, what are you going to do? And at the end of the other side, it's like, yeah, it's really the worst thing in the world. So, like that's kind of where the enticement of that came from. So that's kind of, where the story kind of came from, was this idea of like, or maybe not the idea of the story, but the idea of the booger character kind of being incorporated.
Yeah.
Was this like?
Can I ask you a question?
Of course.
I'm gonna go real director here.
Sure.
Is booger short for like boogeyman?
No.
Okay.
It's not.
I thought maybe
I didn't
you
even think
were
about
going for
that.
Just kind of he's sort of like this looming specter. When he's that possibility is like omnipresent in the film. Even when he's off camera.
Actually, let's cut that previous link. Let's just say, yeah. That's exactly what it was.
Damn, that's a badass
Yeah.
take.
That's exactly
bro.
what it was.
Okay, cool.
No, it wasn't at all.
Cool.
No, I didn't even consider that.
Okay.
No.
Well, that's cool. That's one of the cool things about movies, Like you make a movie and then it's out and then it belongs to everybody.
Right. It's not my film anymore.
Yeah.
Like once it's out, it's the audience's.
I've asked you this previously, and I'm going to ask it again. So pardon me for being redundant, but how many shooting days was this?
We did 3 shooting days.
Yeah, it was
and
3.
then we had the 2 pickup days, where it was the night shot.
Night shot, yeah.
Which is the final shot. It's him getting picked up. And then it was the next morning we did the opening shot, which is you getting on the bus.
Getting on the bus. Yeah, that's
which
what it was.
Maybe the most fun that I had on set, because this guy was so I was in the top of a parking garage with Tiger, and it's just me and him and Ellis, and he's at the bottom of at this like bus stop, and we had to get him to get onto a real bus, and then he was just gonna step off, and I'm on the phone with him, and
excuse me, I'm so sorry.
And we're rolling, and he steps onto this bus, and then he steps off, right? Because I tell him, okay, you can get off now. And then the bus driver, I can hear, I can't see what's happening, is confused. He's like, are you not getting on? And then for some reason, Ellis goes, oh no, I'm shooting a movie. And the bus driver just hear him through the phone go, what?
Yeah.
Because he doesn't see any camera.
He's just thinking, this guy's out there.
And I'm just like, me and Tiger are just at the top of this parking garage, like laughing our asses off. Like, why would you say that? Just say like, I don't want to get on the bus anymore. Just changing my mind.
I just want to speak my truth. I don't know.
I'm making a movie.
Yeah, the guy was so confused. Like, what are you talking about?
Tell me why that never occurred to me that I sound crazy as fuck. There was no cameras, no nothing.
You just walked in, walked out, and it was like, what are you doing? Oh, I'm shooting a movie.
Damn, I thought. Well, there was another crazy ass dude. That was standing right.
He's in the beginning of the film.
Yeah. So
he's just standing there, like he was screaming next to you. Right?
Yeah. He was screaming like ah. So I said, okay. Like, he had a bigger fish to fry.
Yeah. But yeah, so we shot the 3 consecutive days, and then this final shot, we shot that on the 4th day, I guess I would say.
Yeah.
And then the next morning at like 6 a.m, we went to go do that opening shot, which is
the opening pickup,
which is our last shot of the film.
So this is the last thing that you shot is the opening shot.
Right. Correct.
Dude, what as we're looking at the opening shot, like there's I'm going to get a little techie here. The color grading of the movie really feels like you're watching a time capsule.
Yeah, that was a big intention from the beginning.
Yeah, it feels like, first of all, a real movie, right? First and foremost, as opposed to, and I'm not against filming on iPhones and DSLRs or whatever, but obviously you shot on Ari. Yeah. Right? And just the colors, dude. Like, did you do camera tests beforehand? Like, how did you know that you wanted to get this texture?
This actually came quite after, quite some time after we had shot it. Because the first cut that we had of this was very clean. And then I had several people kind of be like, dude, this looks incredible. Like, this looks so nice. It looks so clean. And then I was just like, yeah, but this isn't the story. Like, this is not a clean story. This is a grimy, gritty story about these guys that are just like barely making ends meet. And I think, like, to me, every single character in here, like the lady who works at the office, the frustrated boss, the fry cook who's also frustrated, who just wants to get anywhere, he wants to go do tattoos. It's all about like frustrated people, and you are kind of who you surround yourself with. And at this state, not by choice, you know what I mean? Like, it's just your economic, like, situation is like you're stuck with people who are also trying to get out of this and who are just so frustrated with their lives. And it's like, how does that affect your headspace?
Right. And so like the clean cut probably didn't have, it was missing that, would you say?
I would say it just didn't give what the film needed. It needed this like grit to it.
Yeah, and it has a grit. What are your thoughts on the atmosphere, the texture, the colors of the picture? Because you've done a couple movies, I imagine.
Knives. This is one of the best. The color grading on this shit, so clean. I told my mom, I showed my mom, she goes, "This on Netflix?" I'm like, "No, ma'am, but it should be. It's so good. It's so crisp, and it looks okay." I'm not like on the technical side, so I'm not gonna use the right terminology, but not granulate, but it's real, like
The film grain.
Yeah, it looks like it was shot on like a film kind of situation, like from back in the day. But I mean, yeah. It wouldn't have been as nice if it was a clean, smooth looking. Damn, I wish I knew more terminology, but it just
Around the right texture.
The texture, yeah.
But you got the feelings right though.
The
You're
feelings,
right on point with the feelings.
and then the like the cut, like this is like blues and greens, and it's moody. It just everything is reflective of some. I was telling Josh in the car, it's like a pound cake. Pound cake simple
layers.
Yeah.
Is that what a pound cake? Oh no,
Pound
I'm thinking
cake
of something else.
is just like sugar milk in a pan, simple. You flip it. But it's so simple, but the depth of flavor is there because you could fuck up a pound cake. But it's just what this movie is just simple shit done with the care of somebody who knows what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah,
it's very like it just I love it. I love. My bad. I'm just getting off the rails. I just really enjoyed this movie, Knives. Like I was watching it, and I like movies that aren't plot driven, but more like theme driven.
Yeah.
And these are just individuals trying to make like, look at this scene, like this whole goofy ass. You
Michael?
funny. Okay, one of the funniest scenes ever is this dude. He's in the diner. Man, fuck. Yeah, oh my bad. I mean,
that's
mod
cool.
you out, but he just fuck, man, blah 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 blah. And then I'm like, dude, you can't. He goes, hey, you got customers. That was him.
That was on the spot.
It was.
Yeah.
It's so fun. It got depth. It's funny. These characters simple, and it just I don't know, man. It's just a father trying to get connected to his daughter, man.
Right. And there's this guy who's just trying to like haggle him.
You know, I got to say, I'm
yeah.
going to give you your flowers, Ellis, because getting to know you and hang out with you a little bit, like, you're not Chris.
I'm not Chris.
You're not Chris.
Yeah, Chris is.
You know what I mean? Like, this is like you really had to lock in and like get into a zone and like be this guy. You know what I mean? I mean, obviously, there's got to be elements of you, some truth in there.
Yeah.
But he's his own guy. Like, I've seen this movie like 100 times. Like, we've been watching it like 50 times as we're doing this pod, and probably watch it 50 more times. And I feel like I know him very well, but getting to know you, like, you really acted your fucking ass off.
Hey, man, thank you, bro. If anything, this is me. If this comedy shit, this acting shit don't work, I was like, let me, like, what would my life look like if I didn't have a sunny disposition, if I didn't have the support, if I didn't have all the things I'm blessed to have, what would that leave me? It would be a motherfucking stressed at a diner, trying to make it, trying to like, the only reason why I am where I'm at, bro, is because I have a support system. I'm blessed to have that, you know? But
let me ask you a question, 2 questions.
Yes, sir.
And this is a question for both of you. Do you think Chris has a job at the end of the movie? That's the first question. Second question is, what was a favorite memory that you had while making the movie that maybe didn't make it on screen?
Okay. Okay. So there was the first part. Does Chris have it? Yeah. When you see the manager flipping burgers and shit, he ain't got no staff. So he's over here like what I imagine the boss kind of giving Chris a hard time, but then Chris going like, are you gonna let me on this grill or not? Because ain't nobody gonna work it like me. Oh, okay, whatever. Boom, boom, boom. So he still has a job.
Josh, does he have a job?
I think he does.
Oh, okay.
I think he has a job, and I think it's like you're saying, he shows up and they both kind of look at each other, and it's just like, okay, but like just the same as it was. And I think it's kind of like having worked in restaurants. You know, I worked in restaurants for like 9 years. You know, you have spats with people, and it's like it's these strangers that eventually just kind of become a sort of family, where it's like when you're in the thick of it and you're like yelling at each other, it happens. But then at the end of the day, it's like, okay, well, I'm going to see you again tomorrow, and then maybe we'll figure it out. So it's just like waves, and I think that's kind of what this film is. It's a level of waves, and I think the way that I hopefully view this story is Chris goes back. You know, he goes back to work. They kind of give each other a nod. He does his job, and then he goes into the next day to pick up his daughter again, and hopefully he's like, I'm going to try again. Let me give myself another chance to actually give her a good day.
I want you guys to answer what was your favorite moment on set.
Yes.
But you talking about waves, like I had that thought the first time I saw this picture was this day is a drop in the bucket of what, you know, this guy's entire life is. You know what I mean? Just eating shit. That's the plight of a single father. That's the plight of a guy who doesn't have the career maybe that he desires. And, you know, he's kind of stuck in this situation for better or worse. And but this day, there's probably days that are worse. There's probably days that are better. This is just one drop in the bucket. And I just think you really captured that in a short film, you know, like there's a whole universe in there. And I just think that's great. Anyways, sorry, as I'm watching this, I'm just going to wax poetic about it. But what was like a favorite memory that happened on set that, you know, that you get to share that maybe didn't make the cut?
Man, that scene where I'm going off about the backpack whenever it's found, when that lady, yeah, we did like I don't know how many different like fun run takes. Like I was just improvising my ass off, like so and so and so and such. I just was saying anything. I was like, oh okay, yeah, all right, like just mocking her, and that was just so much fun.
Yeah, which was not in the script. I just let him go.
Yeah, because I was pissed. I was like, because sometimes actors will give other actors, like she was really giving in her like expression and her emotion, because her face when it was twisted, like I wanted to punch it for real. Cause sorry, because how many times you didn't seen them Karens, like it's like, really, I just left, can I go back? Well, no, because you stepped out and you sorry. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, you really give a fuck like that? I'm like, but she was embodying that perfectly. So we did so many takes, bro. It was so much fun. The bus scene was fun too.
Yeah.
Did you guys have 2 cameras for this scene or one?
Just one.
Okay.
Yeah.
So shot, reverse shot.
This is all shot. Yeah, I think we shot her out first, and then we flipped and went to him.
Well, that's fun.
Yeah.
Well, as a director, what made you decide the takes that you chose, since he gave you so many?
I think just like the energy level that they kind of went. Like I think there was so much that I kind of went. Sorry, I like let him go with a lot of different stuff, and a lot of different actors I let kind of go with different things. And I kind of let you try different things. And I think like towards the end, I was like, what does this scene need? And that's kind of what I went with. Like,
oh, got it.
You know, so there's some where he went even bigger, and there's some where he went more subtle.
Yeah. And
I was just like, well, what does this scene need? And that's kind of how I wanted to go for the edit.
As a director, it's hard to stay present when you're operating and you're thinking of like 40 different things. And there's problems that arise, and making a movie is a miracle. Sure. Were you able to cherish some moments that you can walk away with and say, hey, like, you know, I really took something away from here that maybe you weren't expecting?
Yeah, I think I might have mentioned this on the last pod, but it was when we were shooting this bus scene. You know, when we were shooting this actual scene, when the bus was just going. Yeah, I couldn't do anything, so I just had to sit in the front of the bus, and I just had the monitor, which I honestly don't like. I'm not a director that enjoys having a monitor on me. Like I want to be with the actors, I want to be there, but here it's like I can't do anything. So I was just there looking at the monitor, and then I looked up and I was just watching them. And I was like, this is fucking awesome. Like this movie got made. And I think like right before we shot this scene, and which might be my favorite moment of this whole film, is, you know, the bus is already pre-rigged with all the lights inside. And we're just out in front of a warehouse, just like eating lunch. And I'm just sitting there with the crew, and like most of the film was behind us. I think we only had this scene and then that final scene after they get kicked off the bus to shoot. And I was feeling so good about like where we were as far as how much we had shot at that time that I was just like, let me just enjoy this moment and like cherish being here with all of these people who just decided to spend their weekend with me. So I'm just like eternally grateful for like the whole crew that were just like there having a good time. Like, and I think after that we just like I felt so good going into the rest of the shoot, and it was just like a really good vibe the whole time.
I'm glad you had that moment, man, because I've certainly let those moments pass me by because I'm stressed out or I'm thinking about whatever and I'm just not present. But you know, you've been on so many productions that I think okay, this is a pocket I got to cherish or something.
Yeah.
So,
and there was just like in this moment, like I was like, there's nothing for me to do.
yeah.
Like I just have to like let him go. Like we've done it all. Like I think on this day we ran through the whole scene on our like a studio stage.
Yeah.
Just so that we can have the audio in case it doesn't work.
Oh yeah.
Because we were like, if the bus is too loud for this whole scene, it's not going to work out. So we went through it quite a bit, and we just rehearsed it, and then we went into the bus and actually did it. So I felt so good.
Yeah.
And then I felt so good about it. I actually didn't end up using any of the studio stuff. Everything on that was on the bus like just worked. But it was just like a just in case thing.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Real quick. Nice.
Yes,
I want
sir.
to answer your question about favorite scene. I said the improv with the lady, but I think this scene was my favorite because I got to go off. But not only that, I grabbed Bill, and like I was really embodying the character with the level of frustration. Like I grabbed but Bill is older, so I just get the fuck out of my. But I grabbed him the first time. I like man, like you shook him, and then he fucking like he go cut, so he goes, I'm gonna need you to go half speed. He goes, you're a strong young man. Like, yeah, he was like, you fucking do it.
Yeah.
Got that reaction though.
That shit
yeah,
was funny, man.
It looked like that shot looks like a horror shot. Like he looks
does.
very scared.
Oh yeah.
Another thing that happened.
Did Bill bring that jacket?
No, we had that made.
Okay, because he's that kind of guy.
No, we had that made.
Nice.
Yeah. Tyler, our wardrobe person, he made it for me.
You were gonna say.
Oh yes, in that same scene, we're like walking through what's gonna happen, and the scene is like Ellis going like, "Give me your hand" to his daughter, and then Bill just walks up to me. He's like, "Hey, can I go reach for his hand?" And I was like, "Yes, that's so funny. Let's just go for that." Yeah. So in that moment, I don't even know if you knew that he stuck his hand out.
I think I see it, and I was like, "What the fuck? What do you do?"
And it was just such a great move. He's like, "Okay, yeah, I'll hold your hand," and it was just like, to me, it was so silly. But there were so many like little moments of like improv where like, you know, Cougar, who plays like 5 different roles in this thing, he's the bus driver at the end who he's the homeless person in the beginning of the film, and I just thought that was funny to make him the bus driver. But as he's yelling at you guys to get out of the bus for not wearing your mask, he emphasizes like out by lowering his mask to scream out. And to me, I thought that was just like a really silly moment. And when we were running through the scene, I was just like, well, I want to see your face. So let's just make this moment really dumb. Yeah. And it's just like one of my favorite scenes, just seeing him pull his mask on. Yeah, and there was just like a lot of little moments where we just like added improv, and it just worked. And in my head, I like it.
From the day you rapped and you said that's a wrap, I hope you said that's a wrap.
I did.
Okay, because that's a fun feeling for us, not gonna lie. From the day you rapped, when did how much time until picture lock?
Oh, I would say picture lock was about July. It took a minute. We
So you from what month to what month?
March to like July.
Okay, that's fair.
So we went through quite a bit of editing.
What took some time? What took more time than you thought?
I think movies are made in the edit, and I think you should try things. And I think we kind of went through different situations. Yeah, we just went through different passes. Like there was moments where I thought like, should we cut out some things in the diner? Like, can we make this scene, shorter, or just make it more fluid? And there was just like, how do we make this thing flow? And I think to me, that was like the main focus of the edit. It's like this whole story that takes place from the beginning of the day until at the end of the night. Like it needs to have a flow. So I think it was just finding the rhythm through the edit that took a minute.
Yeah, you found it.
Thank you.
When did you see the movie? And was it a different pass? And have you seen its evolution, or did you see the locked picture?
I only seen it when it was like locked. Everything was ready to go.
What did you think when you saw it? And talk to me about the first time watching it. Like, did you see it at Josh's crib? Did you see it on the big screen?
I'm trying to remember. I said you sent me.
Yeah, you came over.
I came over and I seen it, but then I seen it in the Like, so you know how like I don't know what it is about the theater that makes it look so much better. Like,
Yeah.
be it like handheld screen. I seen it in the theater and I damn near wanted to cry. I was just like, you ever like Knives? You in this world, man? Like, you ever think like, man, why the fuck did I pick this like career path?
I just
But
had that conversation with my wife
like,
yesterday.
it's like, what the fuck, man? Like, I got a family, I got a wife, and I picked this shit. But then there's moments where you'll see what you made. You go, nigga, I could not pick anything other than this.
Mm-hmm.
That was a moment. That was a moment. I was just like, we did some damn good work.
Yeah, I'm very proud of it.
And it, man, I just Knives. I was overwhelmed, bro.
Yeah.
Just at everything. It was the theater debut.
Was that
touched my soul.
AFS?
Huh?
Was that AFS, Austin Film Society?
Yes, sir.
I was there. Yeah, that was.
Yeah.
I don't know how many times you showed it there.
Well, only once.
Okay, so
that
I
one
was
time.
fortunate enough to have been there for that.
Yeah, and then again in Dallas. Whenever
And oh yeah, we went to the diff.
diff shorts in
Nice.
Dallas. That was where we premiered.
Wow. Where I want to talk about the afterlife of the movie now. We've talked about production and pre.
Yes, sir.
For me, I've only made a couple films, right? So I'm not Soderbergh, who's just over making movies or something. But first time I watched a movie that I locked, I fucking cried.
Yeah,
like I
man.
sobbed like ugly white girl tears. Like they
Yeah.
just came out. Like I was just like post birth, as close as I can get, anyways.
Yeah.
And I was done. I was like, well, that's it. Like what do I do now? Like where do I? And then I had 2 weeks to go screen the movie to a theater, and I was like, fuck, dude, I checked the boxes. Like I'm good as an actor. What especially like an indie level. And you had that moment where you saw it in the theater and it hits all the spots. Like where do you where do you go from here? You know what I mean? Like where do you go from there?
Yeah.
Like what?
Yeah.
It's the first time I heard that one.
Where I know where does at least for you as an actor, like now what?
Okay, now what? Knives. I also do stand up, and I've been very stand up heavy. Like I've been on tour throughout Texas, and I've been really having a comedy hat on, but. Every time I see like where do we go, it always remind me like you need to take your black ass back on that screen and get some more work. And I honestly, man, as of right now, I'm just in the process of getting with a new agency and getting back out there because during the time I recently got let go from my agency. Like I had a family emergency, I couldn't make the auditions and shit.
Sorry to hear that.
And my agent was like, "Hey, at this time we gotta let you go."
Mm-hmm.
But the bug is so like this shit is a siren song. And, like whenever I'm acting, whenever I'm on stage, it calls me, and I'm happy I got this audition, and I do feel the inclination to get back on there. I'm just trying to find my way in terms of with an agency, and hell, I'm even looking. But as of right now, I'm pretty much just focusing on my comedy, and the right film will come whenever. Like shit just come to you. So it'll just come. I mean, obviously, it's not gonna fall out the sky, but things will as I traverse. And then, I was telling Josh this the other day. Don't you hate when actors be all like artsy fartsy, like my path is unveiling and whatever the universe or whatever. But no, but really, like sometimes you got to just walk the path and it'll reveal itself. So that's kind of where I'm at. I do have a premiere though in August.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, man.
For what? Tell me about
that. It's a movie called Hierarchy. I don't know if any of y'all know Russell Reed.
Mm-mm.
Russell Reed is a director.
Is he local?
Yeah, he's local. We shot this film in 2021.
Wow.
And it's releasing, but it's been in the can. It's been sitting on the shelf, and we just now releasing in 2025. And that one is, I'm excited for that. But in terms of other acting and stuff like that, I'm pretty much. I'm just chilling right now, Knives. That's it.
I'm happy to hear that. Yeah. I've made movies and then they go out and they live and that's that. And, every now and then you get like a YouTube comment from 10 years later and it's like, oh, someone new watched it. That's neat. Mm-hmm. But as an actor, like, I don't know, like what I would do if I made something like I don't know how I would move on personally,
Yeah.
So, you just think about the next
it's
good
just
thing.
it's the next thing, bro. It's almost like now as we live. I mean, it's almost like life, right? Like you have these moments in which you live, and then they live in your mind, and it'll always be with you. But it's almost like we can't live in what we were doing. We got to focus on what we're planning to do.
Hell yeah.
So and that's me. Like, where do we go? Like, well, oh wait, to me, this is the God is my witness. I'm not even saying this because I'm on it. This is the best thing I've ever shot in terms of quality. Like, I've done features that wasn't this good. I'm not saying any names. I'm not knocking anybody. Sure. But it's just, this is really something special. And then, if anything, I see this as a testament to like what it could be. Yeah. You know what I mean? If you got on something like this, then it can, like, it's almost like, have you ever worked on something and it's like, this is really good?
No.
I cannot. Oh, nice. Don't tell. Oh,
you don't know anything about me.
Yeah. But
no, but I mean, the fact that you felt that way, that's incredible,
bro.
That's what it's really about. That's the juice.
This is a step in the right direction.
Yeah.
It's almost like I remember what it was. I appreciate it for what it is, and I can't wait for what the future holds. And that's pretty much how I'm moving.
Josh, so same question for you. I understand the plight of making a movie and then, the afterlife of going to the film festival circuit, and then there's where the movie lives. Like, it's just where it lives at the end. So we never got to talk about like the film festival circuit and how did that go? Where did you submit it? It sounds like you went to Dallas. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, I mean, submitted it a lot of places, for reasons not up to us. We got into DIFF, and we're insanely grateful that we got into that film festival and we premiered there. And I think at this point it's just kind of like we didn't get into as many festivals as we wanted to, but such is life.
Okay, so that's kind of shocking to hear.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. If I'm trying to like
Where did you submit it, if you don't mind me asking? Are you comfortable talking about that?
I mean, yeah, I kind of submitted it to like, all the big festivals, all like a bunch of Texas festivals, things on Portland, Seattle, New York,
This is I've been to film festivals where you're watching 100 short films. Like, this would have been the best one out of the bunch. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
what the fuck?
I don't know. I wonder if if I'm trying to just be like, yeah, like my film's great. Maybe it's the COVID thing. Maybe it's like that. Like, people just don't want to see a story that has COVID as the backdrop, even though the story's not about COVID. I can maybe see that kind of being like, I'm exhausted. I don't want to think about this thing. And maybe people just didn't like it. If I'm just trying to like not blow smoke up my own
I've
ass.
seen so many shorts that like are attempts at filmmaking, which sounds cruel.
Sure.
But, seldomly do you get a short that is such a fully realized package like this. So
yeah, I'm insanely
understand.
proud of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm incredibly proud of the film, and it's just like one of those things. It's like,
do you want to burn any bridges on the pod? I mean, we can cut this out.
No, it's not. It's not even necessarily
That's
about
upsetting.
burning. I guess this thing is like, I have a piece with it where it's just like if people just didn't want it to screen it at their festivals, like, I'm not angry at them.
Do you think it was too long? It's like what,
15, 30? I mean, I don't think it's that long. I think,
okay,
if anything, I wish it was longer.
Sure.
I wish we could have had more moments where like scenes breathe a little bit more.
Yeah.
But like, to me, it's not really about length. And
I don't know what the rubric is for people that programmers that decide what pictures are going to be on festivals.
I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, can you fit in 2 7-minute shorts or one 14-minute short? It's kind of one of those things where it's like, you can have more people come to your festival. But at the end of the day, it's like, I'm not going to determine my own self-worth or my career based on like festivals.
Yeah.
And like, I'm incredibly grateful that we got into DIFF. We were treated so well there.
Yeah, they were great.
Kind. And it's just like, cool. I'm happy with that.
Did you see it with an audience?
Yeah, and it was great.
How was that?
It was awesome. It was like
very receptive.
It was very receptive. We got a lot of laughs. We got a lot of like, people that came up to us after and talked to us about it.
Boy, yeah.
And there's like one moment where our production designer Dakota is like holding a finger in the background of one of the scenes, and there was a person in the background that just screamed out, "What the fuck is happening?" And I had the biggest grin on my face, and
That's
I'm like,
cool. That's what it's
great.
about.
Yeah, and it's just like, cool. This is like, an audience that has never seen this before. But
so Picture Lock was in July-ish of 2023.
Yes.
You took it around 2024.
Yeah, pretty much all of 2024. And we got our last rejection in December of 24.
And so you're like, what are you gonna do next? What do you do? What do you do?
Like, what am I doing?
Yeah, like what's your next thing? Like what's your next attempt, or like what do you movies are hard, like to where do they live? Where do they go? And so you decided to distribute it yourself?
Yeah, we're just gonna post it.
Just gonna ship it.
I'm done with it.
Okay. I love that.
Yeah, I think I'm ready to let this go. I mean, this is just I carried this film. I wrote it. I think the first draft in like February of 21. And that's been 4 years at this point, or
4 years of your life.
4 years exactly. And at this
For
point,
a short
it's just like-
film,
for a short
that's
film,
colossal.
for a 15-minute short film, and I'm ready to move on. And I think there's like so much peace in me where it's like I feel, thankfully, very separated from these feelings that I made when I made this. And I feel really ready to just kind of be like, okay, I'm ready to make the next thing.
I'll cut this out if you want. Did you submit it to I have a sticker.
They told me no.
I don't believe that.
I swear, I'll show you.
That's so fucked.
You could just bleep that out, but they told me no.
I will bleep that out.
I'll show you.
Editor Knives, bleep this out.
I'll literally tell you. I'll show it to you. They told me no. I was shocked at that
I've
one. That
seen,
one.
and no offense,
No,
and I would
fine.
tell all these filmmakers this to their face, not because my dick's so big or anything. Trust me, it's not. But it's like I've seen, dude. Okay, I'm the guy that made Her Doppelganger. That movie fucking sucks. Like it was made on a potato. You know what I mean? And yeah, it came from my heart and all that stuff. But like, that wasn't gonna go to any film festival, and I knew that. But I look at this and I'm like, holy shit! Like it's so night and day. And I've gone to, and I've
Bleep that out.
I'm gonna post like a meme or something when we're talking about this. But I've seen things that just didn't belong there,
Yeah.
and this would have crushed.
That was like honestly the biggest gut punch that I had from the whole festival circuit. I was like, wow. Okay. Cool.
That's weird, man.
Yeah, like I said, I will literally show you.
Also, like, okay, we're not gonna dive too deep into that, but that's shocking. Sorry. So it's personal because we came to this city. Well, I can't speak for Josh, but like I came to this city to form a community that I didn't get in our hometown.
Yes,
Same.
sir.
And everything, I'm very big on like giving back to the scene, giving back to the culture, leaving it better than we found it. And then for this to not make it, it's just weird. Like in our backyard,
For sure.
it's really weird.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. That's fucked up, but
If I may interject,
Please,
real quick,
please.
I think sometimes it's not even about. I think what is it called? The game, like playing the game. I think those are politics. There are certain circumstances or people or whatever the case may be that it's just it could have been shit Scorsese making it, and we don't know who's orchestrating the strings, or maybe do you know who's orchestrating or behind?
well, I know the dudes that host the thing, but I don't know if they're the gatekeepers. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like with anything, right? There's gatekeepers, and I think it's just the quality of, like, because it's never been about like how good or something is. It's almost
It just goes to show that it doesn't matter how fucking undeniable something is. Like, it's just like whether people can. I'm not going to put like a tinfoil hat on, but conspire against something great. Like it's just
I wouldn't say that. I think like I can live with the piece that maybe it's just not for everybody, and I can live with that.
Right.
And
ain't nothing wrong with that, man. I mean, we can go down. I mean, I could pull it up, but like, there's so many movies that like Stanley Kubrick never won an Academy Award.
Sure.
Like we can play that game all day. You know what I mean? So that does happen. Yeah. I'm gonna pull a King's Speech on this one.
It is what it is.
So, but this movie, I think, is going to have a legacy and also be the thing that, like, now the burden is on you, Josh, to top this.
Oh, I'm ready.
You're going to have to try to top this.
Yeah.
What do you got cooking? Something?
We got something cooking. Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, man. So now if people are watching this, they can check it out in the description. They can see it in the show notes if they're listening on Spotify. And check out this movie if you haven't watched it. I'll never forget, being invited to watch this at Austin Film Festival, Film Society, and my wife and I, we were just like, God damn, man! Like we saw Josh's full arc. Like I saw your first picture, in the Border Theater in Mission, and then we saw this, and it was just like night and day different. It's like the her doppelganger effect. And you've grown so much, and you've come so far, and I don't want to like big brother you by any means, but it's just like I look at you as one of my peers. You know what I mean? Like one of my fellow brethren of just contemporary filmmakers that like, you're a soldier like me, and you die for the same cause. And I just love that. And our drive back, Claire and I, we were both like, I want to make a movie. Like, it inspired us. And
it's
like
intoxicating.
And it's the way we started this conversation. You were like, I saw some movies and I was like, I want to do that.
Yeah.
This gave me that. So, shove it. All the fucking film festivals that was their loss.
Well, if anything, like maybe this film is also kind of like, in a way, spiritually, like it aligns with the festival scene where it's just like, I'm not going to get knocked down.
Yeah.
Of
course.
You keep telling me no. I don't care. I'm still going to make another film.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah. I mean, we don't put all our eggs in that basket.
No, and there's still like there's so much that I got out of this film. Not even like in a selfish manner, but like the friendships that I've made. Like Tiger, who shot this, who had been my friend now. When we made this, but like now is like one of my closest collaborators, and I talked to him about so much stuff, and I think we've gotten a partnership that's gotten so much better. And same with like Sav, who was the first AC, Joe Punske, who was our gaffer. Like these are just like now like some of my closest friends. And I'm not going to say it came from this film, but it was just like, like there's so much that I gained from the relationships that I built whenever we made this film, from every crew member, from everyone that was in the cast, that it's just like, yeah, this is not something that I would ever say I regret making. Like I'm super proud of this film. I'm super proud of like what it is and the relationships that I've made because of it. And I'm excited to top it.
I know it's corny, but like the film itself is the reward. Mm-hmm. It is the prize. Like I've never made something for the laurel.
No, same.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't give a fuck about the laurel, the little branch shit.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck.
I could have put it into like, random, online festival that's in, I don't know, like Tuscaloosa. Like
sure.
To me, it's not about getting another laurel.
Right.
I don't care.
Yeah. I'm right there with you, man.
Not to knock Tuscaloosa. But.
Right. No, is that a real place?
Yeah, Alabama.
I'm just hearing words at this point.
Yeah, Alabama?
Yeah,
Tuscaloosa,
dude,
Alabama.
I've driven through Alabama. It's not cool. Have you been through Alabama?
I try not to.
Dude, don't. There's no reason for you to go to Alabama.
Man.
Especially on a road trip when you have to drive through Mississippi. Forget about it. Anywho, yeah, man. So, I want to give you your time back and make this about you. Like, what can I do to support the cause? How can we direct people to where do we go? What else do you want to get into? Anything that you wish I asked you?
I don't know. I think we've talked about the technical specs before, like, the people I mean, this film is incredibly beautiful. Like I'm proud of the story that I brought to this, and I'm proud of the people that I brought to convey like the visual language of this film, like Nick Piper, who was our colorist, Tiger, who shot. I mean, it looks gorgeous. And like, I'm just proud that it all kind of came together. I'm proud of the actors that came and they did exactly what they needed to be. I mean, like I said, like to me, I'm incredibly proud of every aspect of this film, narratively, the actors, the visual, the music, like the sound design behind this, like my friend Marcelo, who's also from the Valley, like he did the sound design for this, him and his wife, Nina, and they both just like killed it. And it's just like, I brought so many people who have been there for along the journey where they're people that I've met here in Austin or friends that I made back home, like Josue, who did our visual effects, is also like, he's somebody that I met from the Valley as well. So it's just like a mixed bag of different people that I've met along the way. And I'm like proud of what this film is as a collective.
You should be. Okay, my last question for you guys before we do all the salesy stuff at the end. Ellis, where do you want to be 5-10 years from now? How many birthdays have you had?
I'm 31, about to be 32 in
You're
October.
a fucking baby, bro. You're such a baby.
I actually have a joke about that. That's funny.
Well, let me hear it. Let me hear it.
I just say, I say 30 is an interesting name when you're in your 30s because it's interesting because you're young to old people and old to young people. It's a very fucked up spot to be in because older people will act like you ain't never done that and just use a baby, and I'm like, shit, I got warrants. If the police catch me, I'm going to grown up jail. It's like,
That's good.
yeah, that's a little.
That's real too. Where do you want to be in your career, like 5, 10 years from now? Like, who are your role models? Like, what is the blueprint for you? How do you know what success looks like? What does a victory look like? Like, paint that picture for me.
I'm gonna be a working actor. I'm gonna be on different streaming platforms. My comedy, I will be in the public. I may not be mainstream, but I'll be the rumblings of my name will be throughout the USA. I actually got a submission for JFL. Are y'all familiar with JFL? Just for Laughs in Canada,
Oh yeah, of course.
Montreal.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I just got a submission
Cool.
for that, so that's a big deal.
Big
I'm
deal.
headlining my first theater show in San Antonio, 985 seater at the Woodlawn Comedy. So shit is picking up. I'm going to capitalize on that energy, and Laura willing, just be able to, because I have, you know how it is in the arts. It's like, unless you're like in tech, the performance aspect of it, you have another job. So 5, 10 years, Lord willing, I'll have enough work for it to be my main thing. So success to me is, having, well, for one, enjoying my life for what it is and not having a bitter or cynical heart. And yeah, I just thank God every day for the opportunity to make people laugh and to create pieces like this. I think if anything, I'm just going to be more of what I am in 5, 10 years from now. But it's just going to be, I don't know how to explain it, Knives. It's almost like, I feel like I'm like Coca-Cola, right? Like a product selling in the boondocks. Like, this soda is really good. But I'm going to have a marketing team and I'm going to be everywhere 5, 10 years, or at least in certain grocers and shit. I'm gonna be on the public market. So, and then I'm gonna be collaborating with great minds like Josh and shit. Knives, I'll audition for you, whatever, and just create a community, bro. And we grow and we expand together. So, yeah, in all fronts, acting, stand up, all that shit. Yeah.
I love that. I'm gonna give you a little piece of advice that you didn't ask for.
Okay.
I believe like success is a last man standing match. Like, just don't get off the bus.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Just don't get off the bus, and you'll win.
Yeah.
A lot of motherfuckers fucking just get off the bus and say I'm done when they're just like at the dip. And
Yeah.
it's like, dude, it goes up from here. Just stay on the fucking bus.
I'm locked in.
Hell yeah, Josh.
Yeah.
Same question.
Damn. I don't know. I'm the type of person that, God, I hate when people say that.
Tell me the type of person you are.
Yeah, I know.
I cringe when you
I
said
know.
it.
I'm cringing at myself right now. I don't know. I feel like whenever I'm creating, because like obviously I want to be a director. Or
You are
I
a
am a
director.
director.
Fuck
Sorry.
yeah.
I am a director. I would like that to be my full-time job is what I mean to say.
Yeah.
But I enjoy creating when that creativity is, I'm like speaking through myself or what I'm struggling with. Like, I don't write, genre pieces that are just like, I had this idea, I want to make it. Like, I have to come to a story with something to say. Now, whether that's going to come out in, like I made this, a couple years ago, 2 years ago, and before that I had like 5 years where I hadn't made anything. So whether that's like another 5 years or another 3 years at this point for me to make my next short or maybe a feature, who knows? Whether it's going to be a thing in like a couple of weeks, that's, who knows? And that's kind of where I'm at. It's like where I'm not necessarily looking for 5, 10 years. It's where am I going to be? Am I happy in my own life? That to me is life. Because to me, like, I love film. I care so deeply about film, but I care so much about experiencing life and finding my peace and going through whatever it is that I'm going to be doing with my life. And filmmaking will always be there because it's a reflection of my life. It's not about the plot. It's not about the cameras. It's not about the lights. it's about telling a story that I think will connect with people.
You make me cry, bro.
Oh, well.
Combined, the two of us have like almost 40 years experience. Like, we've lived a life, you
Sure.
know, and we come from the same place. And so I just love everything that you're working on, man. When you reached back out to me back in 2021, 2022, I was glad you did, but I had always thought about you, and I talked about you with my friends, like, what's Josh doing? And the fact that here we are doing this in real time, making art in real time, like together, talking about your thing, like, is super fucking dope to me. So where can people, thanks for this opportunity. I appreciate it.
No,
Thanks for thinking about me.
Appreciate you having us.
Where can people support the cause, find you guys on the internet? Give me some websites. This is the part where this is Hot Ones, and you guys can sell yourselves.
You can find me on all platforms. Ellis, ELLIS AYCH. I have my own website where all my tour dates are up. It's Ellis H, baby. My last name is not H. It's spelled AYCH. Like, it's H, but it ain't just the letter H. It's Ellis H, baby. Let me think. Yeah, that's pretty much it for me. Oh, Niles, thank you for having me, man.
My pleasure.
Can I just say, like, man, you got podcasting down to a motherfucking like, bro,
cool.
You easygoing. You allowed us to talk, and your questions are badass, bro. Like, I ain't gonna lie, like, your tats and stuff, like, I judged the book by its cover. I didn't think you want to be as elegant or as eloquent.
Thank you.
But you are fucking just I hope I ain't offending you. Like, bro, you are well spoken like a motherfucker, bro.
Thank you.
Like, I was on a podcast with a white girl, and she couldn't string two sentences together. She goes, "Yeah, I gotta get tea. Okay, so this is the podcast. Okay, so what?" Like, you on the money, bro.
Thank you.
And if your film work or filmography is anything like your podcast, bro, you pay attention to detail. And I'm happy you got me on here.
Thank you. Well,
I mean that shit.
Thank you. The pleasure's mine. I appreciate that, man. And what about like Instagram, or did you mention a website, or
yeah,
where can people see you in real life?
Yeah. So I'm performing at so I'm all over Austin, Houston, Dallas. I headlined South Padre Island, and I had a show in Corpus. Yeah, it's called the Nigga I Sleep in a Bunk Bed Tour. I can say it. It's pretty great. I'm trying to think what my next shows are in Houston, May 3rd and May 4th. My next Austin show, it's tomorrow.
Cool.
I just got that though. It's at the Green Room. It probably won't be out for tomorrow.
No,
but yeah.
They missed you. They missed you.
It's okay. It's all right.
Yeah.
It happens.
That's awesome, man. So be sure to check them out for sure. And Josh, where can people support you?
Yeah, personal Instagram, Josh_2nd. But that's all I got. I'm there. I do my day job where I work in grip and lighting, and I love it. And then I'm making films. That's all I care about.
Making films.
And you need to make one too.
Yeah, I need to come out and make one. I'm obsessed with the iPhone.
Yeah, the look, yeah.
Yeah, like I shoot on the iPhone 16, and I mean, next movie I make will be on an iPhone for sure. I just need to scratch that itch. I've been wanting to do that since 2014.
Do it.
Yeah, I will. What about the movie? How can people find the movie?
Yeah, where do we go film on? WDWG film on Instagram. I'm gonna be posting this on my personal YouTube, Josue Segundo.
You got a lot of subscribers, buddy.
Do you know how that happened?
Tell me.
I have this one skit thing that I did back when I was in UTRGV with an old buddy of mine, where it's about a guy who shits his pants.
Hell yeah.
And about 3 years ago, it just started getting a lot of traction. It has 2.6 million views. I swear.
Fuck yeah.
And it's all from like Indonesia. And it's just like yeah. I don't even know how it happened.
The internet.
Hey, sometimes it be like that.
And it was like maybe 6-7 years after I made it.
Isn't that validating in and of itself?
Yeah. Well, what's funny is like
people subscribe because they want more of that.
I know. What's crazy is like this will never get that many views.
Never say never, but
I mean, yes, right. Yeah. But like
10 years from now, it could pick up on Indonesia.
Sure, it could. But yeah, 2.6 million views on a guy shitting his pants, and we shot that in 30 minutes with gear that we just owned.
Yeah.
And this took 4 years.
Yeah, that's fucking
So-
the way it goes.
That's life.
Yeah, it
man.
is life. Yeah.
That is-
But yes, I have quite a bit of subscribers, and I don't post often, and it's
Yeah.
all because of that
That's killer.
silly pooping your pants story.
There's no better way to end this. Gentlemen, thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate it.
Man, thank you
Thank you for having us.
man.
My pleasure.